Hey guys, it's Tony with Wood Tramp Outdoors. I've gotten a lot of emails since probably November asking me about a current update on my Ebag for the winter. Hang tight, that's what this is going to be all about. Alright guys, welcome back. Yeah, it's January 2026. It's been a while since I put out a video on an Ebag, and they usually evolve for one reason or another. This year's bag is a little bit different. I usually use a backpack, and what I chose to use is the koala tree bag that came through a battle box. And the reason I chose this is because I wanted something that was going to be a little more water resistant, and this actually is perfect for that. And it converts into a backpack as well. It looks like a duffel right now, but it converts to a backpack. So I'm going to get into this right away for you and show you what I have in this bag, and I'll tell you why I have it. First of all, and again, this rides in my vehicle all winter long. But independent of this, but it sits right along it, is this bleed bag. And I think this came from North American Rescue. We used to sell these through Backwoods Biker. This was made for us. It has everything that you need to control blood. That's what it's all about. It's not about a boo-boo, splinters and band-aids. This has got everything in it that you need to save somebody's life or self-rescue if you've got a major arterial bleed, gunshot wound. Everything is in here. If you get stabbed, whatever. In a bad car accident and you need to help someone, a bleed bag like this from North American Rescue, and it doesn't have to be North American Rescue. There are great companies out there. My Medic is another one that I like. So I always keep a bleed bag, and I hope that you think about that. All right, so let's get past that, and I'm going to open this up. And this is not in here in any order at all. But I'll tell you why I carry it. Okay, first of all, when I pull this out, you've seen this many times. Okay, this is my chest rig. Okay, this comes from Hill People Gear, and it's absolutely the best chest rig I've ever seen, much less have I ever owned. And it carries everything that I would need to keep me alive for 72 hours, including a shelter in the back. It has some food in it. It's got everything. So just take a watch at that video. Now the reason it's in this bag is because my truck pretty much goes everywhere that I go. And if I'm going to be out in the woods and I'm going to be rucking out, or I'm doing a scout, a deer scout, or whatever I might be doing, then I can just take it right out of this bag, put it on. When I get back to the truck, put it back in here. But I want it with me, all right, because there's a lot of stuff in here, okay? Next thing I see is, okay, here you go. This is a cook kit, and there are a few reasons why I have this cook kit. All right, here's a survival candle. It's a 50-hour burn time. Okay, now in this cook kit is a solo stove. Got to have a stuff sack for these. They don't come with a stuff sack from Solo Stove. Solo Stove, you should do that, by the way. And I don't even know which Solo Stove this is. But inside here, I have a titanium stove that screws on the top of this fuel canister. And I have a titanium bowl, a titanium, not a spork, it's a fork on one end and a spoon on the other. This comes from Grail, as does all that titanium. And then put this back in here. And I have got what's in there somewhere. Now, this is what I want to tell you. I want to show this to you here. I'm hoping that I can do this without everything falling over, because I don't want to have to move the bag. All right. Now, what you are able to do in a disabled vehicle scenario, you know, your truck stops, or your car stops running, you run out of fuel, it's freezing out, you're going to be out overnight. What do you do besides shiver? If you're not prepared, you will get cold and you could die from hypothermia. Okay, so this is a trick that my grandfather taught me when I was young. He didn't use what I have here, but the concept is the same. I'll take a pot like this. I will place this bowl on the floorboard of my truck away from everything. I will put that pot on top of that. And then this 50-hour survival candle, I will put in here. I'll light it, put it in here, and then I will crack the lid just a little bit. That's all I got to do. And actually with this pot, you don't even have to crack it because it already has a spout. And then of course you want to crack your window just a little bit. I don't know if this gives off soot. I don't know what, you know, if there's anything dangerous in the candle, but if you got your window cracked, you're going to be okay. And believe it or not, this will get your vehicle very warm. Okay, it's not going to be take off your shirt type of warm, but you'll be able to take off your coat probably. And it depends on the, you know, what's going on out in the atmosphere, what the temperature is outdoors. But this works very, very well. That's why it's in my bag. All right, let me put that off to the side here. I'll fix it later. Next thing in here to go along with that cook kit is I do have some trail chili from Southern Survival brand. This came from Battle Box. Okay, I've never had this, but it doesn't matter. It would serve me. I could probably eat twice, maybe 3 times out of this bag. I'm not going to be belly busting full, but I'll be survival full. That's what's important. And again, you know, you're looking for 72 hours at tops, that you should have to worry about being out there. Hopefully, the first responders can get to you. If I go off the road like that, or I'm disabled, I've got this light by Pod. These are great, right? You can put these, they have a magnetic back on them, they have a hook also, but I like it because of the magnetic back on it. You can put it on your tailgate, you can put it anywhere on your vehicle, on your car, because I have an aluminum bodied Ford F-150. I can't use the magnet, but what I can do is I can use the hook, and I can hook it to like my high frequency antenna for my ham radio. I can hook it right like that. It will flash, it will strobe, it will do a lot of things to get attention. Why is that important? Not only for first responders to see you, but in our part of the country, snow squalls can kick up and last for hours, making visibility almost zero. If you get stranded on the side of the highway and the highway trucks are trying to clear snow, there have been people that have been killed by those trucks because they did not have an orange bandana in their window, or they didn't have a device like this. That's why I highly recommend these. So you are visible not only to the first responders, but also to the people that are on the highway trying to clean it up. All right, next thing that I have in here, well, I keep 2 bottles of water in here all the time. And I've got a small foldable shovel. This one happens to be by SOG. I can't tell you where this came from. Maybe SOG sent it to us. I don't know. But it's a perfect size for an Ebag for me. You know, I I like something small like this. Can help me dig out around my tires if necessary. Can do a lot of things with a shovel like this. You should have one if you are in inclement weather. Next thing I have is, well, let's talk about this other stuff, okay? If it's cold, I've got a beanie that will go under a stocking hat. I usually have a stocking hat in the truck. I happen to be wearing it right now. These beanies from Under Armour are awesome. They will hold heat in your head. And then when you put another stocking cap on top of it, you're golden. I also have a neck gaiter made out of merino wool. This one happens to be from, who is that? Wool X. Man, I think we reviewed them all the way back in 2017, something like that. I don't even know if they're around anymore, but they made great products. They were just kind of small. And then this is a baklava, or baklava, however you want to call it, that's also made out of merino wool. And I can tell you, we reviewed this for being on the road on a Harley, and it failed because of the fact that the wind would catch in this and just you'd be a balloon driving down the highway. Even if you had a helmet on, it caught a lot of air, so that was a failure. Where it's not a failure is when you are stationary, sitting in your vehicle, out working, trying to get a fire together. These are great for that. I've used these coyote hunting, turkey hunting, deer hunting. These are great. You should have something like this in your Ebag. This comes from a company called Possum Pouch. Possum Pouch Products, yeah. That is J. Hercules that makes these. And it's an emergency panel that I could hang up, you know, with some paracord off my window. But it's also zippered that it could become, you know, something I could carry if I need to walk out to get some kindling or whatever, to be able to stuff it in there. It also has Molly on there if I want to put it on, you know, the bag or something. I won't, but that's why I threw it in there, because of the orange and the dual purpose of it. Then let's talk about what I have ecoms here, and I need to recharge this radio. I turned it on when I came out, and the battery's almost dead. This is a Baofeng UV-R9 Plus ham radio. I recommend, if you don't have your ham radio license, I recommend you getting it. And I guess what? Wasn't planning on doing this, but look at the panel right here. Look up to my right, your left. You see that? You can get a discount from Ham Radio Prep if you want to get your license for $79.99 right now, plus 10% off of that from Wood Tramp Outdoors. You can have access to every level of training, tech, general, extra. It's a good bargain, and everybody should have their ham license. I mean, I know folks argue about it, but that's just the truth. It's illegal to use a ham radio without it. It's very beneficial to you, your family, and your community. All right, and then of course your cell phone too. Then you have to have. Oh, I got me some wool gloves in here. That makes sense, right? I've got this flashlight from Streamlight. This is crazy. This is crazy bright, and it comes. The reason I put this particular one, it comes with a cigarette lighter charger. Yeah, it doesn't take much to charge it, and it is super bright. It's got a low, medium, high, different functions on it, but you want a candling device of some sort, okay? Then this, I'm not going to open this up because it is a booger trying to get it back, but this is a down blanket, or wait a minute, is this the down one? No, this is the synthetic fiber one. Yeah, I like synthetic fiber in the event if I think that I might get wet. If I go off the road, I might be in snow, might be wet, can't stay in the vehicle. There's no telling. Vehicle on fire, whatever. You got to get away. You want to be able to keep warm. And this little blanket right here I can't even remember who made this, but I think this came, well, I don't know. I'm not even going to tell you. I'll put it in the description. All right, I'll find it out. But it's a one-person blanket that's very, very warm. Okay, and then let's see here. The last thing I have is this bag, and the bag itself comes from Campcraft Outdoors. Jason Hunt makes these, him and his family, and I've got several of these bags, and I'll probably buy more from him. He makes the best as far as I'm concerned. Okay, so what do I got in here? Well, first of all, let's talk about a multi-tool. I've got the Leatherman Wave here. This is older than some of you are. I've got a hank of orange emergency paracord. I have a preloaded ridgeline with Prussics. I have a long hank of bank line, always handy. I have a blanket pin, right? I also have a Woodsman Spike. Backwoods Biker used to make these. We sold a lot of them. It was just that we had other things on our plate. Bush Butter was taken over at the time, and I didn't want to continue with these. This is one I didn't like very much because of the size of it. They need to be smaller, and we did make them smaller and sold hundreds of them. But spike on one end, it's got a chisel grind on the other, and it's got a convex grind around, or the concave grind around the middle to be able to hang gear with it. Next tool that's in here is a Work Sharp field sharpener, diamond plates. It's got a leather strap on it. It's got a ceramic rod on it. And then you hear me always harping, you don't need to hone your knife every time you think it's a little bit dull. Make yourself one of these strop bats. One side needs to be smooth, the other side needs to be kind of rough, almost suede, and then you impregnate it with compound. I'm going to give you a secret here. When you go out and you buy leather, what you can do is you can turn over the unfinished side and take a palm sander and lightly hit that, and it'll raise those fibers up. And that's what you need. You need some fibers that are going to grab the compound, the buffing compound, and then you just go ahead and use it on your blade. And then once you do that, you can turn it over, throw your little oil on there of some sort. I put bush butter on here and strop my knife. Very seldom do I ever put a stone on any of my knives. If it's really bad, I've got a knife sharpening system at home, Tormac 8, that is great. It's a wet wheel, but anyway. Then the last thing that's in here is a fire kit. How many times have you seen this stinking fire kit? This little old booger right here came in a battle box many moons ago, right? And I just immediately, when I saw it, I said, oh, that'd be a great fire kit. And there are, how many sources of fire do you think are in here? Let's see here. We have a Bic lighter. That's an open flame. What if you run out of a Bic lighter? What if you run out of fuel? Don't throw it away. But for that, we have the Titan. That is, you know what? I'm going to do this for you here because I haven't opened this up in a long time. And I'm always saying, the fuel in these lasts forever. Look at that. Can you see that flame there? Yeah, you can see that flame. It's going right there. And it's probably been 2 years since I filled that. I don't use a lot. These are great. Come from Exotac. So that's 2. Here's the third one. This is a super match that I make. All right, it's not rocket science. It is the Stormproof matches, and I dip the bottom of them in paraffin or some type of wax, and then I roll them up with duct tape. and I use 6 matches. This thing will light not only in the rain, but it's going to stay lit for quite a long time and can help you dry out your tinder if necessary. These are great to have in your kit. All right, that makes 3. And with that, this is a striker that comes from Huko. Ferro rod and striker, right? These are the ferro rods and strikers that used to go into our survival fire kit that we no longer make. Thank you, China. We don't do that anymore with you guys. Yeah. Okay. So that's what? 1, 2, 3, 4. And the 5th one, we have solar with a magnifying lens. Okay. Not the best magnifying lens that I've ever owned, but it does the job. I've used it plenty of times. So that looks like there's 6. That makes 6. Now what about tinder? Did we account for tinder in this menagerie? Of course I did. Okay, first of all, we've got some hunks of fat wood. Okay. And let me say this to you. For those of you that are wanting to be survivalist, or you're trying to figure this thing out, I'm not talking to those of you who are pros, but practice with using little instead of a lot. Because most of the times, you're not going to have a lot of anything. And so that's why I've got this here, and I can start fires with this. All right, there's fat wood. Now instead of opening up the other part, I'm just going to bring it over to the camera and kind of show you that way. Right? All the stuff that's in here. And every time that I open this up, because of some duct tape that I got in here, he doesn't want to let it go. But I know how to be a winner. All right. Redundancy is important. So let's kind of show this to you here, and hopefully you can see that okay without a problem. Yeah. All right. So I'm just going to sit here. What I have here, this is the original SFK1 survival fire cake that Backwoods Biker we used to make. Sold so many of those, but again, it was the disruption of flow of goods from China, the ferro rod and the striker, that killed us, and I was tired of fighting. The other thing we have in here is a wafer, and these are called Infernos, and cut them up. You don't need a lot, so that's 2. My third one is a little fire plug that's impregnated with some stuff that burns. Another one here is some more of the survival fire cake, but it's not a lot, but I keep it in here anyway because I know I could use it. I've got a wad of duct tape with fat wood attached to it. I also have bush butter that is impregnated with fat wood that will burn well. Got more fire plugs. It's a different type, but these work really, really well, these pink guys. And then I have got more of the duct tape with fat wood in there, man. These things will burn. Okay, so there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, we'll call it 9, 10 pieces of tinder that I could use. And I tell you folks, you never can have too much. You never can have too much. Especially if you can fit it off into a small case like that. Am I done with this case for you? No, because I want to point your attention to the back. Here is some T-Rex tape. I love T-Rex tape versus duct tape or Gorilla tape. It's super strong. Not only does it give me an opportunity to patch stuff with these small sections of the tape, but under here are 2 different sail needles. One is a hook sail needle and the other one is a straight sail needle. I can use it to pull splinters out. I can use it to repair gear. I can repair boots, whatever. But it's always a good idea to have a couple of those with you. And why not put it on the back of some place that you're not even going to notice it unless you know it's there. And I'm the guy that put it there. So, yeah, thank you again, BattleBox. I mean, everybody asks me, does BattleBox really trip your trigger? You know, and look at here. And I just had an email come in. Man, you're going to have to listen to the or watch the mail call video. That was really cool. Okay, so there you have it. That's my Ebag for 2026. And I encourage everyone that lives in an area that can get inclement weather, snow, sleet, whatever it is. It's not just about the snow falling down, but it's about you going off the road. And I'll tell you a quick story, then I'm going to get out of here. Most of you know that I've been a musician for the better part of my life. My band was Juju Johnny, and we had a young lady get up and sing with us one night. We were a hot rod blues band, and her name was Jamie. And man, Janis Joplin, get out of the way. She was awesome. She was playing a gig about 60 miles away during the wintertime, was coming home through the back roads. She went off the road, and she went down into a ditch. Couldn't see her vehicle from the highway, and she couldn't get out of her truck. She passed away. You know, those are the situations where I say I don't know for sure, but your chances of survival are always better if you're prepared with an e-bag that has this in it. Now, you do what you want to do. Look at some other channels. Talk to some other people. There are experts out there that know a lot more than me. This is just my experience talking to you, where I live at, what I have to deal with here, and I am confident that I could survive with this bag. And if necessary, because of the way that this is configured, I could put those straps on there, wear it out like a backpack. So, and if you ask, what about a shelter if you have to move? That's in my chest rig. It's not a big shelter, but it will work. So thanks again for the question. I hope you get out and get yourself an e-bag, put one together, and let us know, man. Put it down there in the comments, and tell us what you've done, and put a link in there. We'll look at your videos as well. So till next time, you guys be safe out there, and always protect yourself when the